So that was sort of different side of me you guys saw yesterday morning. Okay, so full disclosure, outside of the fact that technically I slept like a baby the night before, I'm not gonna lie, I actually had a nightmare that night. As in, not last night, but the night before. Like, Sunday night into Monday. I had a legitimate nightmare. And you're probably wondering, how did you sleep like a baby if you had a nightmare? Well, if I go through pretty much the entirety of the nightmare and I don't wake up, that should at least dictate that that's somewhat of a good night's sleep. That being said, though, I still woke up feeling pretty tense, actually. I don't want to get into the details of the nightmare, but what I can tell you is this. And I know it's going to be pretty obvious what a lot of people will be thinking after I tell the story. But, I saw my folks last night. And, I'm pretty obvious, like any normal relationship, in a family, you can tell each other anything. And, I've told my mom and dad I've had nightmares in the past before. I mean, it's not like it happens very often. Like, at the very least, this calendar year, this is the first, legitimate nightmare I've ever had. And I can't even remember the last time I had one. But, I did tell my mom that she actually was in it. And no, it's not the kind of nightmare you're thinking of. But not only did she guess what the nightmare consisted of, but I was in the same room, standing in the exact same place where the nightmare occurred in the dream, the nightmare occurred in the nightmare, when she told me what had gone into my nightmare. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, well, Nick, your mother does know you best. Well, yeah, but even under those circumstances, I'm sorry, that's just plain uncomfortable. It's like, it's like Chris Griffin at the end of that one episode of Family Guy. Get out of my head! Get out of my head! Remember when Family Guy was awesome? Good morning and happy Tuesday, everybody. So, yeah. Needless to say, after I woke up from the nightmare, reading that One Piece manga chapter was exactly what I needed to do. And I am so glad I did. Because, okay, well, I guess I could probably tell you a feel-good story. When I was first in college, this is near the end of my freshman year. I had actually was no longer on the wrestling team at Gettysburg College. And it had just devastated me. I mean, I know I could have been better for sure, but I still worked hard, and I never missed a practice. I worked out twice a day even. It was tough. And it was around that time when I was reading the One Piece manga where we were just getting out. We were in the middle of the post-war arc where the flashback was over. At the end of the flashback, and keep in mind this is going to be spoilers, Luffy is completely and utterly devastated that his brother Ace had died in the war. In his arms even. Now, needless to say, Luffy was so incredibly injured from the war that it's the sort of injuries where if you move too much, you aggravate them and it could kill you. However, it was Jinbei that reminded Luffy that Luffy does have something in his life to look forward to, and that was being with his crew again. And I really learned from that moment. I learned that, yes, loss is tragic, but, there are other things in your life that you have to look forward to. I mean, I was no longer wrestling anymore, but, I could still, work out. I still had my family. I still had my brothers from Trinity Poly. In a lot of ways, I was a lot more blessed than I could even hope to imagine. So, needless to say, after that moment, I immediately wanted Jinbei to be a member of the Straw Hat crew. Since then, this is like back in, 2010. And then, yeah, 2010. So, fast forward to December 5th, 2011. It's that special scene in the manga where Luffy lost a lot of blood from yet another battle, and there wasn't anyone with Luffy's blood type around. But Jinbei had his blood type. And in the One Piece world, it's actually taboo for humans, fishmen, or mermaids to have blood transfusions with each other. Yeah, interesting fact about, types of people in One Piece. Humans, fishmen, and mermaid actually have the same blood. Yeah, so theoretically, if you need a blood transfusion, you could get one from a fishman, provided it was the same type as yours. It's quite interesting, actually. So, learned a lot of biological stuff there. Although it's taboo because, again, sort of race type issues. But, it was at that moment Luffy had asked Jinbei to join the crew. And at that point, my reaction was like, yay! And then a chapter later, Jinbei says, I can't, I still have stuff to take care of. And needless to say, it took until the Whole Cake Island arc for Jinbei to finally get that done. And now he's back in Wano. And it is awesome. And my day only technically just got more awesome from there. Again, I saw my folks last night, and, in spite of the fact that my mom was able to guess with pretty eerie accuracy what my nightmare consisted of, everything else was great. For dinner we had pork loin with mashed potatoes, peas, and Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts. My father does not like Brussels sprouts at all. Seriously, if you're ever in the room where, we're having Brussels sprouts for, a meal, my father just be like, yeah, tastes like dirt. He really will do that. It's awesome. It's funny. But that's okay. I love me some Brussels sprouts. Peas and mashed potatoes, and my mom made gravy for the pork loin. Oh, what a wonderful meal. And so, before I went home last night, I did watch some TV with my folks, and it turns out there was going to be, and this is where it gets better, a celebrity Family Feud, a whole hour of it. It was Vanderpump Rules versus John Legend and Chrissy Teigen's family, but the next episode, and this is where it interested me, it was the Goldbergs from the show The Goldbergs versus Terry Crews and his family. Oh, man. And Terry Crews' family won. Oh, man. That was awesome. Terry Crews is the man. And it was great, too. He and his wife were actually wearing matching colored outfits. So, that was awesome. And, at the end, Terry Crews did the whole thing where he's like, oh yeah, I can do that too. Although, obviously not as good as Terry Crews. I think it may have something to do with the fact that I'm white. I don't know. Anyway, and if you can believe it, there's actually still more. What made yesterday so incredibly awesome. Now, as you guys well know, because of everything going on, the 11th season of Hot Ones had to be tragically cut short. They had recorded 2 more episodes and a truth or dare. Now, the second episode that they recorded would obviously need to be the season finale, which makes sense, At least you have something to end on, right? So, I'm thinking, okay, Zac Efron, by all accounts, was a great guest. He actually did a really good job on the episode. I like Zac Efron. I think he's really cool. And I thought he handled himself pretty well. So I'm thinking, okay, what guest are they going to do that could possibly outdo Zac Efron to end an otherwise relatively short season? Because to put things into perspective, typically a Hot One season is like 11 or 12 episodes. But this season is going to cap off at 10. Which, season 11 started off in like late January, early February. And so, a good 2.5 months it'll be. Alright. Again, it's still short by Hot One standards for a season. But, it's something. At least it's not like we didn't get a season at all. We did. We had some pretty good guests. Margot Robbie, Big Sean. Again, Zac Efron. Several others. So, the fact that we're ending season 11 with this guest, of all people, it completely stunned me. Because I never thought in a million years he'd ever do it. Not that he couldn't do it, it's just I never thought he'd ever be a guest. And it's so surreal because this person is super duper talented and famous. But in spite of all that, let's just say I did listen to a lot of 90s boy band music growing up. And he was in the second best boy band group. That's right, folks. Season 11, season finale. The guest is going to be Justin Timberlake. I cannot wait to watch this episode. Justin Timberlake is a super mega star. He is. He's a great singer, music out the wazoo. Suit and Tie legitimately prove that he can take like a several year hiatus from doing any kind of music, come back to it and just immediately kill it. So, yeah. I honestly am very much looking forward to how this season ends. Do I expect much? Well, I don't think Hot Ones would be so cruel as to end the season with anyone possibly making the wall of shame, which actually someone did do that in season 10. It was a Chance the Rapper. So, I don't know. I would like to see season 11 go an entire season without putting everyone on the wall of shame. Why not? So, yeah. Wonderfully with my family. Yesterday's manga chapter was so awesome. In spite of the fact that I woke up from a nightmare, yesterday was a lot better than most people would even try to give me credit for. So, I am beyond thankful for that. Although, if any of you guys are wondering, I said that Justin Timberlake was probably the second best 90s boy band group. And, yeah, that's 100% true. Because the Backstreet Boys were better. Yeah. Well, let's just say the Backstreet Boys were larger than life. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, like, favorite, share, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to comment if you like. Follow me on social media platforms. Turn those notifications on YouTube if you haven't done so already. I am very humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I am hoping you have a wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. And remember, if you guys want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear. I'll always have your back. Take care and make good choices. See ya.